Okie dokie. This is the end. This is plants 198 to 200. So it is really, truly the end of our list, which is the end of a lot of effort and time. And here we go. So here is Agave deserti, otherwise known as the desert agave. Sure makes it simple. In the Agaveaceae and the Asparagales order. It's got sharp spikes. I once backed into one of these on a hike, and it goes right through, and then it's hard to even back out again. These things are wicked. And they get to be quite big. I know this makes it look like it's almost the size of a mountain, which is funny. It's just perspective. But they get to be quite large. Look, it's a little house. Just kidding. It's not a house. And they make little like not scars really, but the shadows from where they wrap around each other as they are growing, which is kind of cool. And then sometimes those lines are evident on the leaves later on. There's a big old one. You can see some of those right there. You see that? The old leaf imprint. Yeah, up the middle of that. Cool. Anyway, 1 to 20 feet tall. So 20 feet tall when they put up these really crazy tall flowering stalks, 3 feet wide. I apologize, I did not put any pictures of the flower in here. It's bright yellow, or stalk. Oh, that sucks. I should have done that. A super tall stalk with inflorescence. Kind of looks like a sedum or some of the other succulents. Anyway, I'll just shut up because that's not on our list. It flowers when it's between 20 and 40 years old, and right when it's got a young flowering stalk, that's when you're supposed to cut them to make mezcal, or to, sorry, that's wrong, to roast the root. People used to get the heart of that out, and they'd put it in an underground oven and roast it. Apparently it's quite delicious. But when it sends up that flowering stalk, that mother plant will die, and then all around it there are usually little pups that exist and then take over to grow in that spot. So there we go. Yes, very pointy tip, and this is all from Calscape. A rosette of fleshy gray-green leaves, 20 to 77 meters long, 4.5 to 10 centimeters broad with a sharp tip. And I am going to put a picture of the inflorescence on there because it's distinct. So it likes hot, full sun, does not want much moisture. It needs good drainage or it gets rotten. So this one was not even in the Sunset Western Garden book, which is kind of a surprise. I think it's just not one that's very well known or much planted. Maybe because it's so wicked because of the spines. Okay, anyway, that's Agave deserti. Next up, we have Mullenbergia rigens, or deer grass. Let's show the picture first. So this is kind of misleading because it makes it look like they're very small, but I think that these are quite large rocks, and this is kind of a big landscape view. So they get to be, they can be quite big. How big? It said 4 feet tall and wide, but I also saw information that said that they can be like 6 feet wide. Get to be really, really large. There we go. Yeah, so they're also like fine, like in a parking lot, like a planting strip with no water, which is rare, and they're really kind of pretty. I think they're really neat looking, and that just shows you that it's grass. A little bit scrappy here without water. Anyway, but I mean, even with, from far away, even the growth that's not bright green still looks kind of pretty. It's sort of an orangey, soft orange. Native to California, so was the Agave deserti, and then east all the way to Texas and south into Mexico. Zone 4 to 24, they need very little water, and they can handle full sun. In the hottest climates, they can also do okay with a little bit of shade, and they make very showy accent when flowering. Yeah, just sort of brushy looking like that. Now let's see the flower stalk. These flowers are yellowish or purplish. Not like purplish really, but like a little purple haze kind of. So it's in the Poaceae, as are all the grasses in the Poales. And next up on our list is Carpinteria Californica, and I admit I added this one to the list because I saw it and I fell in love. It's true. There's no denying that. They have it planted on Caltech campus, and I walked by it and I was like, what is that, when it was flowering? I thought it was a camellia because it just kind of had that look of a camellia, but not one that I'd seen before. Like maybe it's Camellia sasanqua, or like, I don't know. It's interesting, but very much not camellia-like leaves, these thin little scrappy leaves, and not really camellia buds or anything. And if you look at that flower head, it has a bit of the appearance of a Matilaha poppy, but not the it's a female carpal stigma style. You know, in the poppies, the stigma is like right on top of the ovary practically. There's hardly any style, but this is different. You see that? Probably not really, except we go back to this picture again. Anyway, so this does have a little bit of a style there. And definitely different than the Matilaha poppy if you look at the foliage. Very, very different than the foliage. So this is Carpinteria Californica. I think I said that. The bush anemone. It's in the Hydrangeaceae, so the hydrangea family. I think we didn't cover that in our plant family stuff because I've already done all those, and we finished the Rosales, and we didn't. This is the only one I think from our list that's in the Hydrangeaceae, and since I just added it last week, we didn't cover that family. Oh well. It's a very formal looking shrub. Like it looks like it's been nicely pruned even when it hasn't. The older stems, the bark gets a little bit kind of peeling and light colored, which sounds attractive to me. The new shoots are very purpley. The flowers are quite large, you know, 1.5 to 3 inch diameter, maybe like that. At the Children's Center at Caltech, the kids just pop those flowers off and they think they're wonderful. So much for the bees, huh? So bright yellow stamens, it's called bush anemone because it resembles also the Japanese anemone flowers. Blooms in late spring and summer. The flowers grow at the ends of the branch tips. It's a really, really lovely thing. It grows 5 to 9 zones or 14 to 24. And full sun to part shade where it's very warm, and then it needs very little water, 4 to 8 feet tall and wide. Although the ones that I saw were quite a bit, they were more like 3 by 3, maybe 4 by 3, something like that. Native to the foothills of the Sierras. And it may also do well in just regular garden, which is not true of all the natives, so that's kind of a cool thing. It's a lovely plant, and I will just put it a plug in here for Hahamunga Nursery. They have some, and I got some, and I'm super excited. Anyway, it's kind of a lovely plant to end our whole list with. We'll just leave it at that picture. Bye, bush anemone. Bye, California natives. Bye, plant profiles.